Welcome, everybody. Um, so there's Qigong, and there's Neigong, and there's Shengong, and there's Gong Bong, bonging the gong. So, okay, so we've done the first three, the Qigong, um, and we're now moving into the next three in this series, which is Neigong. So much of this I learned from Trisha Yu and from some of the other teachers, early teachers at the Taiji Center, and also from some Taoist masters from China a number of years ago, and have been studying this for quite a long time. And this is really sort of the source for healing. So if you're a Qi healer, which there are many um, uh, in the West and in the East, you need to cultivate these practices so that you can heal yourself, and potentially, if you want to, you can study and learn to heal other people. Okay. So the Neigong is this generating this energy inside the body. So we know about the dantians. So the lower dantian and the middle dantian and the upper dantian in the center of the brain. These are fields. I think Tricia said that the actual translation is field of elixir. Elixir is a strange word, but it sort of means medicine. So they relate to healing, all of these different. So the lower one is ancestral healing or physical healing, and the middle is emotional healing, psychological healing, and then the upper is spiritual healing. But they're all relative to this field of healing energy. Okay. Um, I think that no matter what culture or discipline of healing a person is in, um, it's all the same energy that they're working with. Okay. So if it's someone doing acupuncture, acupressure, or if someone's doing energy healing of different types, like my daughter did for many years, um, whether they practice Qigong or not, or whether they even know about it, is not really that relevant. So Native Americans had all kinds of healing. Early people had all kinds of healing practices. So this is sort of the source of that. Um, and just to reiterate, so the three levels of the Qigong that we did were rooting or grounding, which is connecting to physicality, being in the world, and to our ancestors and so on. That's grounding root. The next one is centering. It's sort of vertical. This is the alignment of these centers and the connection between earth and heaven, the human being, this being that's you, that has a name, and so on. That's your centering. And then the opening, um, the connection with all that is. Okay, so those are those three. With the Neigong, um, what we're going to be doing is placing and moving our attention within the body. And Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh, one of my teachers, says, the greatest gift that you can give is your attention. And I think that's really true. Um, if someone is truly listening or paying attention to you, you can feel it. You can feel the connection that's being established. And so we can do that within our own system by focusing our attention, our mental attention on different places in the body. And just doing that is healing and relaxing and calming. Okay, so that's the Neigong. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. Um, the one last thing I want to say is that with these practices, there's gross body movement, okay, which makes it very, very clear what we're doing. And then there's subtle body movement and postures. And then there's just moving chi with the mind. Okay. So if we start by the gross body movements, that sort of gets the practice into our body, into our cells. And then we can do that more subtly. And then eventually we can do it without even moving. Okay. So those are those three levels of Neigong. So let's begin. And we always want to begin with rooting, grounding. So as you just relax into this standing posture. And in Buddhist practice, there's a lot of focus on doing a body scan, which just simply means moving your attention through the body. So you can start, say, just bringing your attention to the crown of your head. And then with the breath, particularly the out breath, sort of just moving your attention slowly down the body. That just means feeling the forehead and the face, the neck, shoulders, and so on, just down with the out breath, just sweeping the body with your attention. Okay, very good. And then as you get down to your feet, don't stop there. Continue down into the ground, into the earth. And so this body, breath, and mind are one, are balanced. The body's in this posture, and you're using the breath to move the attention down the body, and all three are in harmony: body, breath, and mind. Very good. Okay. And now just let your hands come up and place them on the two dant, the lower and the middle dantian. And the hands are a way of directing our attention, because our hands and our minds are very connected. So we're bringing our attention now by moving our hands and placing them here. We're increasing the attention on the belly and the chest. So feeling the breath. Okay, very good. Just return to standing. All right. And let's go into the backwash. The spine is very important in Neigong. So Just with the in-breath, just bring the attention up to the crown of the head. Now you can sort of roll your eyes upward, because just as our hands direct our attention, so do our eyes. So if you sort of look up, looking at the crown of the head from within. Okay, very good. So our attention's there. And now with the out breath, just let the chin and the head come down. Now the attention moves to the top of the spine where it meets the cranium. And then as we slowly bend, our attention's moving down the spine. Our eyes are looking, so to speak, are looking at the spine from within. Okay, and we're just feeling the spine open, 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 open. And bend the knees and the waist. And touch the ground if you want to. Okay. And then just enjoy the sensation of the spine being open. Okay, very good. Now let's slowly come up. Now our attention's moving from the tailbone up the spine. Up, up, up. We're looking at it. Up, up, up. And then just before the chin moves, then the hands begin. And now we're pointing to the middle of the body, and our attention is directed to the middle of the body, goes up through the dantians, goes through the head, goes out the crown, and then up, up, up. The eyes look up. Now we're looking beyond into the sky, into the night sky. Fingers are pointing up, eyes are looking up. Good. And then when an out breath is there, just come down. Good. And the attention goes down the body, inside again. Then it goes out the perineum where we're pointing down to the earth. So our attention goes down through the perineum, through the hands and fingers, through the feet, down to the earth. Now, in breath, point to the body. So now we're bringing this chi of the earth up through the body, lighting it up. Up, 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 up. Good. Out the head, out, and then up, way up, way up. And just relax, way up. And just get a sense of the verticality from the center of the earth through the body all the way up into the universe. This is one unbroken sort of line. And then when you're ready with the out breath, now your attention's going to come back down the body, down the inside front of the body, down to the perineum, and down the feet, and out, 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 and down into the earth. Good. And one more time with an in-breath. Up, 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 out, all around. This is the opening. Good. Very good. So that's a Qigong move. And by focusing on the attention, it's Neigong. Because we're moving our attention inside the body. It's another dimension of Qigong. It's deeper. Okay. So the movement, someone's doing tree and spring, it looks the same, but where their attention is determines if they're doing Neigong. or they're doing Qigong, doing both actually. Okay. So now let's just do that with an abbreviated form. So just using your dominant hand with the in-breath, just point as it goes up, point to the inside of the spine, bring your attention up the spine. You're lighting up the spine that you're pointing to, lighting it up, lighting it up, lighting up the brain, lighting up the crown, and then point to the North Star. And then as you come down, you're pointing forward. And that just means the attention's going down the inside front of the body. It's down the forehead, nose, mouth, down the neck, down the chest, belly, down the front, all the way down to the perineum, and point down and then down into the earth. Okay, good. Now the other hand, in breath. Now don't go too fast because you want to keep your attention focused internally. The part of the spine you're pointing to is lighting up. And then the brain lights up, and then you send sort of this laser beam up into the universe. Good. Now you're pointing forward. It's coming down the inside of the forehead, nose, mouth, throat, down the inside of the chest, belly, down to the perineum, down to the earth again. Okay, very good. Now the other hand. So in breath, a little faster. Lighting up the spine, breathe normally. Good, good, good. Lighting up the brain. Point up, sending it up. Good. Now coming back down the front. Dip the knees. Okay. Next in breath, switch the hand. Lighting up the body internally. Then down the inside front. Good. Down to the earth, switch hands. And now make it a little faster. So it's in breath up, out breath down, and then switch hands. Okay, it's switch hands. And when this one gets to the top, pointing up. So now one's pointing up, one's pointing down. Now move them both. So move the lower one up and the upper one down. So they cross. In breath, rise up. Out breath, sit down. You're going to lose the visualization, but that's okay. Just feel the movement. In breath rises, out breath goes down. If you want this to be more aerobic, then widen your stance a little and then sit down. So the internal part of this is called the microcosmic orbit. This is very, very fundamental in Neigong. And that just means you're focusing your attention within the body from the perineum to the crown of the head. And you're moving your attention, which means you're moving the energy. Qi follows the mind. is what they say. So you're also balancing yin and yang because one is going up and the other is going down at the same time. So this is the microcosmic orbit. Okay, and now if you pause at the apex, then you're extending up into the universe and down into the earth. That's the macrocosmic orbit. So microcosmic orbit, you're staying within the body. Okay. And the macrocosmic, if you want to, you're going beyond the body. And that's where you're pointing up and pointing down. Continue. But let's do the microcosmic a few times, just keeping the attention internal. Okay, very good. Very good. Now reduce the movements every time so they become more subtle, but keep the attention moving. With the breath. And the hand movements get more subtle. Until you end up just sort of in cloud hands or embracing the heart, either way. Okay, very good. Now, one hand goes down to the lower dantian, but not on the body, just in front of the body, so that you can sense a connection between the heart and the palm and the abdomen and the palm. Very good. Now using your breath and your eyes, with the in-breath, come up the spine to the crown, out breath down the inside front. It creates this sort of very elongated oval. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and just take a seat for a moment. It's not recommended to sit with your palms up when you're doing Neigong because Neigong is internal. So either put your palms down or touch your thumb to your fingers or clasp your hands together in some way. So feel the body, that's the grounding. And then feel the breath. That brings to our attention the lower and the middle dantian as they're moving. And now with your attention, begin with your attention down at the perineum, the lowest part of the abdomen. Okay. And with the in-breath, we'll move our attention up to the bottom of the tailbone, the coccyx. So in-breath, move the attention up. Breathe normally. Very good. For the next in breath, we're going to move our attention up to the level of the kidneys. So partway up the spine, but still pretty low, where the lower dantian is. So in the back, in breath, move the attention up. Just lighting up the lower spine. Very good. And then with the next one, we'll bring our attention up to the back of the heart. So right behind the heart. So in breath, move up the spine. So we're not just imagining that we're there, we're feeling it in that part of the spine. Our attention is there. Just if somebody put their finger, someone was behind you and put their finger right there, that would draw the attention there. So just feel that. Very good. And with the next in breath, we'll bring our attention up to the top of the thoracic spine. That is the base of the neck. So the next in breath would come up and just feel that. Very good. The next in breath will bring our attention up the spine to where it meets the skull, the very top of the spine. And just feel that. You can imagine it, and that's fine, and feel it. Good. Good. And then with the next one, that'll bring our attention right into the middle of the brain. Trisha, you used to say the pineal gland, but it's just the middle of the brain. And light that up. Putting the attention on the brain. Good. And the next one, come up to the crown of the head from inside. In breath, lighting up the crown of the head. And sort of look up and see the crown of the head is lit. Very good. Now with the next out breath, move the attention down to where the third eye, between the eyes and the forehead. Just feel that place. That's lit up. You're very good. For the next out breath, we're going to drop the attention down through the nose and the mouth into the throat. You can feel the air moving. Just lighting up the throat, opening, relaxing. Okay. And then when you're ready, with the next out breath, we'll bring the attention down into the heart. So behind the sternum, in the front, you can feel it moving. So it's right there. Okay, good. And with the next out breath, bring our attention down to the solar plexus area. You can feel that moving. Light that up. And then the next out breath down to the lower dantian, down to the abdomen below the navel. You can feel that moving. Just bring light to it. You can feel it moving. the light is the attention. And with the next out breath, drop down to the perineum at the very bottom of the torso. So just feel that that's lit up where you're contacting your cushion or your seat. Now you can have the light there, you can have it get brighter with the in-breath and then more diffuse if you want to. And so these are the points of the microcosmic orbit. If we were doing the macrocosmic, we would drop down into the earth at this point and then continue. But let's stay with the internal. Okay. So the next in-breath, we'll bring our attention and use your eyes. Just look down inside the body. Bring the attention up to the tailbone. Light it up. Next in-breath, you come up to the area of the kidneys, the lower back. Okay, and this time, the path remains lit. So that center in the perineum and the tailbone, that remains lit as you come up. Okay, so you know the next one will be behind the heart. The next in-breath, bring the light up, look, and bring it up behind the heart. So there's a trail that's lit from the perineum all the way up to the back. Very good. Next in-breath, top of the spine, where the neck begins. The pathway is all lit all the way down. Okay, very good. Next in-breath, we're going to go to the top of the spine where it meets the skull. That's lit up, and you can see the whole pathway is lit up. They call this a string of pearls. And with the next in-breath, you go to the middle of the brain. The brain is completely lit. Good. Then to the crown of the head. That's all lit. So we're at the top. So the next move will be with the out breath. The out breath will drop down, continuing the path, will drop down to the forehead, third eye. This is still from the inside. And the path is all lit. Good. And then the next out breath will go down to the throat. Feel the air moving and good. And the next one down to the sternum or the heart area. Connecting the dots with light. And next out breath, we drop down to the solar plexus. Lighting that up. You're ready, drop down to the belly. Feel the movement there. And then when you're ready with the out breath, back to the perineum. And so there's this elongated sort of string of pearls that's all lit up from the perineum all the way to the crown and back down. And since it's all lit up with the breath, you can move as far as you want. So start with the perineum, and with the in-breath, move up as far as you want to. You can just move to the next one, or you can move several, you can move all the way to the top. You have it all lit up already. And then same thing when you're ready to come down, you can go down slowly, or you can just slide all the way back down. But you've activated the whole microcosmic orbit. So you can use your eyes and your breath and your attention to move anywhere along it. So this is moving the life force energy through the body. Up in the yang direction, and then down in the yin direction, and balancing these and bringing our loving attention to this system, this physical system, and our gratitude. It took billions of years for this to evolve. And it just works amazingly well. So we're just appreciating this body, this upright body. Body is all the points, and the breath is what provides the rhythm for this practice. And then the mind is the attention. And all three come into play together. And now try just with an in-breath, move from the perineum all the way to the crown. Use your eyes. For the out-breath, all the way back down the front. Very good. Now, just as an experiment, just remain sitting and use your dominant hand and then point. So point to the perineum and then direct the attention with your finger. You can move it all the way up or part way up. This will just enhance it. You can imagine, if you like, light, which is just attention, coming out of the finger, going into the spine or into the body. Just up, and then just, you don't have to flip the hand around, then just back down. Does this make it easier to feel it? And then when you're ready, let that hand go down and then use the other hand. And just see how that affects the practice. Very good. And then just relax. Okay, so we've been using the breath and we're probably breathing pretty deeply. So just let the breath calm down. And just gently move the attention with your mind and with your eyes, and let the breath become more subtle. Take a few more breaths. Okay, very good. And then just don't try to move anything. Just let that glowing string of pearls just be there. The in breath, it gets brighter. With the out breath, it suffuses the whole body. Every cell in the body lights up. In breath consolidates, gets brighter. Out breath suffuses the body. There's a sense that every cell in the body is alive and is lit up. So he's suffusing the body with this life force energy, which is light and warmth. And just allow the mind to feel gratitude for this body, for this breath, for the opportunity to have a life. This body enables us to have a life. Suffuse the body with gratitude, suffuse it with your loving awareness of it. This body is none other than the light of the stars. It is not separate. It's part of the universe. And feeling gratitude for the body and love for the body is feeling gratitude for all that is and love for life itself. Even with all the pain and suffering, life is better than no life. And then just feel this body that's radiant with universal life force energy. So that tingling that we feel in the body is the life force energy that's been present in the universe from the very beginning. We're not separate from it. Okay, very good. Let's take a few more breaths. Okay. So this microcosmic orbit practice becomes very reflexive after practicing for a little while. It's driven by the breath. You know, the breath is a constant, and there's this rising in breath and this falling out breath. There's this kind of this natural movement. And when we practice, that is, use our attention, focus our mind on this, we harmonize the body, the breath, and the mind. And when those three are in harmony, this greater awareness is revealed. It reveals itself. So try this when you're going to go to sleep. You're laying in bed. Place a hand on the heart, another, middle dantian, lower dantian, and just try this microcosmic orbit practice or some variation of it. If you wake up in the middle of the night, like I do every night, several times, do this practice. And it harmonizes body, breath, and mind in a very natural way. That we're completely embodied, we're present, we're here with our senses and everything, we're right here. And we're one with this bigger consciousness that we're part of. It's just a very basic, very, very ancient Qigong, Neigong practice. And if you continue to study Neigong, this is the first practice that you will learn. The one that I learned from many different teachers. It's considered so fundamental to all the rest of it. Okay. So just feel the presence in the room. You know, this is much different than sitting in an empty room. This is sitting in a room with people who are grounded, centered, and opened. And you can feel it. Because it's real, not made up. So let's do the removing glasses movement. And we'll clap our hands together one time. 1, 2, 3. And this is another form of loving the body. So many messages we get in this culture is that the body is not good enough, or the body's somehow evil, or we get all this negative stuff about the body, and just loving and appreciating the body is kind of a radical act, actually, even if it's not perfect, especially if it's not perfect. So the power of attention was really brought home to me once when my now 23-year-old granddaughter was a little toddler. And she was crying, she was and my mind's going, why is she crying? What's wrong? Is she wet? Does she need food? My mind's going through all this stuff. But I just went over to her. I looked her in the eyes. I went over to this little creature and I picked her up. She stopped crying. It was the power of that attention, and the mind wants to figure all this stuff out, and that's okay. But the main thing is the attention. So when we're using our mind to move to different parts of the body, we're giving the body our attention. And that harmonizes the physical and the mental. They become one. They do that. And that's what this practice is for. And so next time we'll do a little more with the macrocosmic orbit, that combining with the whole cosmos. And the Neigong will naturally segue into the Shengong, because you can feel the spiritual quality of this. You just feel it, So any questions or comments about any of this? Yeah.
At one point, I felt like intense heat when you were saying refuse.
You felt intense heat. Intense heat. Yeah, and that's very typical. Ken Cohen teaches that the signs of the presence of qi are really tingling and heat. And there are others too. But if you're feeling heat, you're generating, that's just a form of that energy, Yeah, and the tingling is constant. It's just we mostly don't pay attention to it, but that tingling is aliveness. A corpse does not tingle like that, but an alive body is, every cell is vibrating. I mean, truly, every cell, every atom, every molecule is actually vibrating. Everything is moving, right? And you can feel it. And, if there's no movement, there's no life. So heat's just one manifestation of it. And you can break out in a sweat doing standing meditation. You can get really hot. So, okay. Anything else?
The healing component, where is it exactly? Is it enough?
The healing energy. I think it's non-local. It's non-local. I mean, you can say it comes from the universe through the skull. You can say it generates from the heart. You can say it generates from the dantian. All this is true. Comes from the hands. But I think fundamentally it's non-local, if that makes sense. You're just tapping into something that's you can't locate because it's beyond space. That's not just my view, but that's yeah, right. Nan says yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm of the opinion that consciousness is non-local. And there's a big debate going on in neuroscience. Is it local to the brain or is it non-local? I think it's non-local. I think the Buddha knew it was non-local. Anyway, that's another story. Okay, anybody else? I'm sorry. Perhaps it's both. Well, so the non-local would be the opening, and the local would be the centering. Yeah.
Question from chat. While doing the microcosmic orbit, I noticed a microcosmic orbit inside my mouth. Is that okay?
Wow, I wonder what it tasted like. Does it come in flavors? What I'll say, I don't know about that, but what I'll say is what I left out because it just seems too esoteric, but it is taught classically is that you use the tip of your tongue and you place it behind your front teeth. You touch the upper palate with your tongue, and that acts as a switch and it connects. That if your tongue isn't connected there, I don't know if that's really true or not, but that's part of the teaching, is that connecting the tongue would do that, I would think. I've never heard that, but I totally believe it. I think it's probably true.
Another question. Is the internal cycling of attention always taught in one direction or both?
It's always been taught to me in the direction I just taught it to you. However, everything arises with its opposite. This is a Taoist truth. So do it the other way if it feels right to do it the other way. And sometimes if you just say, why am I doing it this way? Not go with that. I don't think it makes much difference at this level. Maybe if we were high level energy healers, it would matter. We'd want to do it this way for that or this way. And I do not know those intricacies. That's beyond me. But I do know that with all these movements, they become so natural that you want to change them and do that. Don't feel that, oh, I have to do it this way. Oh, try it the other way. That's why there's 3,000 different forms of Qigong. Because people said, well, I think we'll vary it. We'll do a variation on this. And well, my body type wants to do this. And right now I'm feeling like that. And I think that's useful. Personally, I've never heard about the micro in the tongue, but that makes perfect sense to me. Okay, anything else? Anyone else? Okay, great. Well, don't get too heated up. But it's useful, if you live in Tibet or somewhere and it's really cold in the winter, and those people can do that. Scientists have actually studied those monks and nuns who go out onto the ice in the winter with a wet towel on them and generate tremendous amounts of heat. And I don't think it's woo-woo. I think they just are really good at doing that. And scientists don't understand how they do it, but they do it. So it's a real thing. Cool. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for showing up. Always a pleasure. I apologize for being a couple minutes late, but yeah, no harm, no foul, right?